Good morning. Quiet group today.
It's BC for me for coffee.
I think we're just always a fairly introspective bunch, you know.
I mean, my excuse is it's still pretty early out here, so. Yeah.
Oh my God, Jacinta, you're actually on this call. I cannot believe that. Don't you have a plane to catch?
I do have a plane to catch. I leave in 30 minutes.
It's 5 a.m. All right.
All right, should we get started? I think we have enough people. Oh, okay, cool. I'll just share my screen then. Great. So yeah, I will just get started with give me a second to do. Yeah, sure. We'll start with mainnet check-in then. Anyone have anything to add here? Seems okay. Test net.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything wrong with mainnet, so I think it's fine.
I think like one issue that I think people are still mentioning, like Jay Willie, you pinged me about, is the
right.
not enough funds. Sorry, the not enough funds issue related to unlocks.
Okay.
Good point.
Yeah, there's a fix like in master and a release, but I think that this is just something that people should just sort of still be aware of, and wherever possible we should be encouraging people to upgrade their nodes to the latest hot fix, because like ultimately this issue is not really going to go away until like a majority of the network is upgraded.
Yeah, the fix is pretty easy though, so thank you for that, Bryce and Aaron.
Yeah.
It worked real easy.
Cool.
Aaron, just a quick qualification on that. So right now, if I submit a transaction and it goes to a hero node, which is updated, then it will get accepted in the mempool. Then I need to wait for a miner that has also been updated, or yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of possible, like, yeah, if you submit such a transaction to a hero node, like it's possible that you've ended up in like the worst possible state, which is that the hero nodes all have this transaction for you, but no miners are accepting it.
Right. Yeah.
So then you have to do the workaround. And when you do the workaround, you actually have to do a replace by fee.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Just a thought, but would it be possible for us to write some code to force unlock any address that may be still locked due to this bug?
It would definitely be possible. It would just be a matter of sending out, I guess it's like at most 2,000 transactions, but it's probably much less than that. It's probably,
Okay.
I don't know how big the last stacks
All right.
account set was in the
Well, I guess
stacking
let's
lockup.
leave that on the shelf. If it comes to it, we can look into it. It's just an idea.
Does
Yeah.
receiving unlocks that fixes the problem, or is it, do you have to send to get to unlock?
Receiving fixes the problem, like
Oh,
either
okay.
receiving or sending.
Okay.
Basically anything that modifies the account.
Yeah, so one account that I ran into that had that problem, they actually received like, one stack and it didn't unlock. They had to actually send it.
Interesting.
Oh, wait. I don't know. I'll have to double check. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll add a little bit too. I ran into this helping out some other people with similar things, and it would actually not allow them to submit the transaction. It would say not enough funds. So that part was at least a decent blocker to know the issue was there. Then we just looked up what the balance was prior to being locked and sent the smallest amount. It was like, if you send dust, it does definitely clear it up and goes from there. So the workaround works. But yeah, it'd be nice to see that across all nodes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. So this account, they received one stack, but it didn't unlock until they actually had sent like 0.01 or something. And then everything were fine after that.
Okay, so I guess my question is, where did I did see the user guidance in Aaron's issue, but do we have it written down anywhere else for people to see?
It may be in the announcement that was sent out after the release was made. I can double check.
Like
I
to the
assume
mailing
it's-
list?
Yeah, I assume it's also in the changelog, Aaron.
Okay, yeah, maybe just a note, like maybe we'd want to surface that a little bit more prominently somewhere.
It's actually a good point. When we do have a hotfix release like this, if there's a fix in the PR, maybe we should broadcast it a little better.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think the changelog just links to the issue. So yeah, I think that the issue is probably the only place with the workaround content.
Okay, I think it could make sense to maybe put that somewhere in Discord, like in one of the user support channels. No, Jesse, are you shaking your head?
Sorry, yeah, it's breakfast time too. The reason I say no to Discord is just because it'll get lost really quickly.
Okay, that's fair. Should we make a
Um,
forum post? Is that a good follow-up?
I think that if people ask again about the issue, then I think that the thing to do is either pin something as a channel message in
Mhm.
Discord,
Mhm.
or make a forum
Yeah, that could
post.
work fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, Fabrizio, we can talk about this after the meeting. It's kind of,
Yeah.
out of the scope
Right.
of this meeting.
Oh, sure. Yeah, cool. So testnet chicken?
all good from what I've been seeing.
Great.
Yeah, same as us. We're running a miner now. I think Trust Machines is also running a miner. So everything's looking good.
Great. Let's do issues then. Okay, so this looks like the last one that we didn't see. Great. Okay. Update StacksNode API to return JSON structs with errors within them rather than random strings. Okay, that feels useful. Cool. This is Jacinta, correct? Yeah.
Yeah,
Can
I
I?
think Jacinta may be checking into Upline right now. So she might not
Okay,
realize.
that would definitely.
Yeah,
good-
But
sorry
she's
about that.
listening.
Just kind of running around, getting
no,
ready
it's
for
cool.
my fight,
Yeah.
but,
Could I assign you? to this?
sure, you can assign me this if you like.
Great.
Jacinta, we may want to work on our own fork on Trust Machines so that we can have more visibility on that. But we'll still make a pull request to the Stacks
Mhm.
network. This is just because we don't have ownership of this, so it's just for tracking. That's it.
Yeah, but for small things, we open PRs directly to the upstream repo.
Mm.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if we want to link it in our project board, we can add it somewhere or duplicate the issue.
If it's relevant for SBTC, we should definitely, yeah, we can, we should also be adding this. We cannot add it from here though, but we can just drop the link on SBTC project.
I don't think this is necessary for SBTC. It's more of an API
Okay.
enhancement.
Then,
Does anyone have any like objections or any other thoughts on this one before I move on? Okay. It takes 2 weeks or more for a node to synchronize. Is there any way to speed it up? I am going to. So it,
I got it.
okay, cool.
Yeah, so what Igor put there is correct. I'm working on code separate from the blockchain to do this. The blockchain itself syncs quickly. It's not a this is not a blockchain issue. The issue that I've seen is that the version 7 of the API uses a lot more resources on Postgres than most people are willing to commit to. So just chews up the IO and the CPU and the system, slowing everything down. Using the Hero archive, I'm pretty certain it'll work. It's just the code is tricky and it takes a really long time to test it just because of the data size of everything. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the wrong repo, but you can just assign it to me and I'll take care of it.
All right, I'm just not gonna comment then. Yeah, I'll just comment.
Yeah.
I would say that the first thing you should do as an assignee on this, Jay Wiley, is please clean up this issue a little bit. Yeah.
quite messy.
Oh yeah, it's Wiley.
Yeah.
That's why I got confused. Okay, great. Yeah. So I'm gonna close it. All right, missing multiple Bitcoin blocks, only one stacks blocks in. Okay, this is not. Okay.
I think this is actually like there was a long or a deep fork that occurred. And you don't see, like in the Explorer, you don't see blocks from the other fork. Like you just see the current fork. It's like you're not going to see Bitcoin blocks show up.
I see.
But there, I think, were sortitions in those Bitcoin blocks.
Do we want to confirm that, or what should I do with this issue?
You can assign it to me and I can confirm it and then close the issue.
Great, thank you. Queue new Atlas instances before committing block operations.
Yeah, so this is related to the sort of bundle of Atlas changes that are staged and developed currently. So one of the things that introducing or replacing the pipeline with a database for shipping Atlas instantiation messages around the node allows us to do is actually force those Atlas nodes to, or those Atlas instantiation events to commit to the database before we mark a block as committed. So this is an issue to do that. I think there's obviously there's a little disagreement between me and Jude about the priority of doing this because ultimately there's like not a single version of the Stacks blockchain that has actually done this before. So I don't consider this like a blocking issue because it has never been a blocking issue in the past. That being said, we should do it because it should theoretically improve the reliability of Atlas. I can comment on the issue, but the one sort of caveat here is that anytime we've linked or anytime you link two database commits together, you have to really be worried about introducing deadlock conditions. So when we implement this, that's something we definitely want to be careful of.
Great. And is it assignee correct? Should it be you or is it going to be?
I think Jeff has been working on Atlas related stuff. So yeah, I think this is a good assignee.
Great. Oh, do we want to tag these issues? Okay, it is tagged. Okay. I have to check the other ones. Okay, Genesis attachments not loading.
Yeah, so let's see. Jeff on the call. I don't think Jeff's on the call, so I can give a quick summary of what's going on here. So as part of Jeff's PR on configuring Atlas, he discovered that the Genesis attachment set is seemingly never actually used. This is like an interesting fact. Yeah, and so I guess the question is, with someone like with a little bit more visibility into what was going on with the Genesis attachments, maybe should take a look at this and conclude whether or not we actually ever included these things.
Would that be
Or-
Ludo?
Yeah, that's probably Ludo or like maybe Matt. We may have just like side loaded these into the network.
Okay.
Don, they're the basically they're BNS zone files that existed before Stacks 2.0. And then when Stacks 2.0 launched, a bunch of BNS names get instantiated during the Genesis block, and then those zone files would be included as part of the Genesis attachments. So yeah, so Raphael says that they do sideload them. So yeah, this is probably safe to just delete.
Okay. Let's have someone verify that. Should I
Yeah, you can
assign Ludo or?
you can assign me and I'll just start tagging everyone that I think maybe has some information on this in
Great.
messages, and they'll all get notifications.
So wait, question. So if it was, okay, what does side loading mean? I have an idea of what it means, but could you like maybe?
Yeah, so I think it means different things to different people. In the API, it means that the zone files were just stored in the API's zone file database and matched with the expected hashes that are coming from the Genesis block.
So
Go ahead, Rafi.
yeah, just to make a quick explanation, every time we do an event replay on the API, which means basically syncing the chain information to chain tip, we import BNS v1 data, which is basically just a compressed file that contains all the zone files and a bunch of subdomains and names from v1. And we do that once we receive the Genesis block, we import everything and into the database of the API. So if you query a name right now on the API that was registered in v1, you'll see the correct zone file. So technically, we don't need a solution for this issue that we're seeing because we already have the data. However, I agree that it would be nice to at least see where these Genesis attachments should be. Because I correct me if I'm wrong, Aaron, but if they do load, then the API will receive a whole bunch of attachment new messages, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think that would create problems on the API because I mean the attachment already exists, so it would just override it. But yeah, I guess we could try it out if this ever gets implemented. We could probably just make the manual BNSV1 importing obsolete if this is the case.
Cool. Yeah. Sounds good. I think we should discuss on the issue how we should handle this. I'm inclined to say that we delete this code from the stacks node. That I think otherwise we probably need to start like shipping the stacks node bundled with zone files, which I don't think we're currently doing, or maybe I don't know. If we are currently doing it, then this would be like a great way to reduce the binary size. So cool.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Cool. Move on. Record and report diagnostic data for block and microblock broadcasting. Cool. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, this feels like a good, like, contribution. I will label it with enhancement. Or event string. Yeah, I think that's fine. Great. Does anyone have anything to say about this? Cool. Yeah, I feel like it's a good thing to add. Oh, just kidding. I have to add one more thing. Okay, so what would be the priority of this? Does this feel like something that is short term or like more long term? Like, does this feel like
has anyone expressed a desire for this except for Jude?
I'm gonna put it in the icebox, and if anyone wants to change that, they can.
Yeah.
Great.
Because I think that this might be an endpoint that Jude finds useful when he is debugging things in the network. But unless somebody else also feels that way, I think that yeah.
Great. Include transactions with insufficient balance.
Yeah, this is me. So this was just something that came up from discussions with nonce problems that keep showing up. And I think if we made this, it's a breaking change, consensus breaking change, but if we made this change in a future version, it would help a lot. So like right now, if you have a transaction that you have insufficient balance for, instead of it being mined and just included as a failing block or a failing transaction in the block, it just sits there pending. And so it ends up causing a lot of trouble. And I think the reason that it does that is to just try to avoid charging this fee for this transaction that's known to be bad, which is like the miner trying to be nice. But in reality, it just adds too much pain. And I think it'd be better to just take the fee and include it as a failed transaction. So I wanted to get some other people's feedback on that.
I'm wondering if we could couple this with like a flag. Like I know we have those like the post condition type things on the transaction. So it's like maybe the user can have the option of like, yes, gobble up my fee if it's not enough or not. I don't know. Maybe it's too complex. But... And we can have default value for that, obviously. So
yeah. So there's, I think that we made a similar change in 2.1, which I linked to there, 3213. That basically there was another kind of transaction that would just be left pending. And in 2.1, we now take the fee and include it in the block. And I think there's a good argument for like, the miner did some work, so they might as well take the fee, right?
So you're saying that this is like transactions that are transfers
Yeah.
that don't have enough funds to execute the transfer,
Right.
but
They
they
have
do
enough
have
to cover the
enough
fee.
to cover the fee. I
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
And so these
interesting.
end up sitting in the mempool, and then users don't understand why their transaction's pending. And so they submit more transactions with higher nunces, and they're all just pending because that one's stuck. And it causes a lot of confusion. I don't think it really does much good.
Yeah.
I thought the idea of leaving the transaction in the mempool was so that miners on another fork could possibly mine that transaction as valid.
Yeah, I guess that could make sense, although it's still really just the miner trying to be nice, right?
Well, if in the other fork, if there are different balances, then it might go through.
In the other fork, they could also mine it as a valid transaction though, right? Because it's not like if I mine it in my fork, it doesn't like leave the mempool and prevent you from mining it in your fork. So both could be true.
Oh,
It
I
gets
guess
included
if
in
it-
my block as a failed transaction and in your block as a successful transaction.
yeah, if they're evaluated at the same time. I mean, it. Yeah, I see what you mean.
So I think next steps, maybe let's get some feedback on this. Does that feel like a good next step?
Yeah, I think so. So I see Raphael's comment there about just dropping it from the mempool instead. Yeah, that also could be valid.
Yeah, the only downside I would see to that is that usually the mempool messages are also very lossy. So I don't think, I mean, if they start dropping the transaction, that wouldn't get rid of the problem 100% of the time, I think. So I guess it's just something to consider.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. This is probably a good idea. But yeah, it's something that I think needs to be included in any kind of consensus changes. So we should keep this issue open for people to sort of weigh in on. But yeah, this seems like this would improve the user experience. So.
Great. Bryce, can I assign you to this?
Sure. Yep.
Okay, so yeah, after last meeting, we kind of discussed some potential changes to the tags, which I have a PR out for. But then a part of that, I was like, I should probably also just like delete the things that we don't use just to like minimize confusion. So I have proposed these deletions / like replacements. So I don't think it's necessarily worth talking about right now, but probably would be a good idea if people left feedback if they had thoughts on it. Yeah. Cool. I will just request feedback then for this.
I would say what you should do is you should say that you're requesting feedback before some deadline this week.
Great.
And then just do this.
Okay, that's actually a great point. It's going to be a time box thing. I'll specify the date in the Discord. Great. Okay, we're gonna move on to PRs then. Where do we want to start? Do we want to go all the way to the bottom? Or anyone have feedback on that? Okay, I think we should. Okay, we're gonna skip that. I'm gonna look at that later. Frozen. Jesse, update on 3199.
Yeah, I've just been really busy with a lot of other things.
Okay.
But it's good to go. I just have to actually find time to do it and then sit down and make sure it works correctly once I merge it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all on me. I just need to find time to actually do it.
Okay, hot reloading. Is this frozen? This has been no activity for a while.
Yeah, this just fell off the train. It's too far out.
That's fine.
We should just kind of close it, or
we can close it, and then if people want to reopen it, that's always an option.
yeah, it's just that it's generating noise and it's just not getting attention. So
Right. Closing for now. Might, resume progress in the future. Great. Fuzz testing. I think we talked about this last week. Bryce.
I'm actually working on that.
Cool. Okay. So it's still in draft.
Yeah.
Great. We're just gonna leave it there. Okay. This is being used in Clarinet, I think, right? This change.
Yeah, this is being used in Clarinet. And there's some tests failing right now, and Ludo hasn't had a chance to, I think Ludo's on the call, right? Yeah. He just hasn't had a chance to look at why the tests are failing, but it is being used in Clarinet right now.
Okay. If it's not going to be updated in the next week, I'm probably just going to add the label icebox or frozen. Sorry,
Yeah, that's
frozen.
fine.
Okay. Okay. This needs another review. Is that what the... Okay, so this needs like another update. Do you think this will be worked on in the next week?
Yep. Once I push my changes for the fuzzing,
Great.
I'll be looking back at this again.
Great. Okay, those are all frozen. Okay, how to create and review PRs. Documentation. Alrighty. Okay, so it looks like a lot of people didn't review it, which is fine, but we definitely need to review it this week. So this is okay. Low key. Let's see if Jude responded to this stuff. No, he didn't. Okay, so Jude is out of office. Wait, Jude is out of the office, right? Yes, he is. Okay, so clearly someone needs to respond to the feedback because there's already a lot of comments. So like, should we just assign a new owner for like someone to update this PR?
Yeah, you can assign me as an owner.
Okay.
My inclination on this PR is that the current state of our contributing docs is so poor that we should be more inclined to just merge quickly, and then if people want to update our contributing docs and things like that, they're able to do so in subsequent PRs. This is documentation, it's not code, and so ultimately we can make changes to this pretty easily. So I would say that we should plan to just have this merged this week. And if people have blocking comments, they should be trying to raise those blocking comments.
Okay. All right. Please review Jude's documentation change. Let's have the deadline be tomorrow, end of day tomorrow.
Cool.
EOD, we'll do EOD Thursday for this one. Okay, great. All right. Okay, so this one is blocked on a different one. Let's see. This one. Okay. Okay, so this one just needs another review. Okay, I will add myself as a reviewer. Okay, once this one gets merged, then we can come back here and finish this up this week. Okay. Let's see, readme testnet command, 2 approvals. Oh, right. Is this person a contributor? Like,
Yes,
Yeah.
Jose is in the Trust Machines team.
okay, great. Jose
Yeah.
needs to sign the CLA.
Oh,
Yeah,
So-
Jose's on the call, but it looks like his video is currently of an empty
oh,
corner.
yeah.
Hmm. Oh yeah, not like, yeah, crazy. But yeah, like, yeah, we can't merge it unless Jose signs the CLA.
That's funny.
That's the blocker there. Great. Could someone tell Jose that? Or like, I can put that as a follow-up item too. Jose, sign CLA, merge that. Great.
If you tag him in the document with an ad, then he'll receive an email as well from Google Docs.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's Jose at Trust Machines. .co. I know. Sorry. .com is too expensive. There you go. Should
That did
Hmm.
not work at all.
I'm not sure. You might have to type it. Oh, wait.
No, that looks right.
Oh.
This is not happening right now. It's fine. We're
No.
gonna do this later.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm sure there is an easy way, but I just don't know. Okay, update documentation. Okay, this one needs changes. Yeah, I don't know if Friedger's on the call. Okay. Okay, well, if there's no updates within a week, then I can just make the update. Great. Okay, this needs more reviews. Okay, yeah, could someone, should I add to the reviewer list? Because Jude can't do it and there's Aaron. Anyone else willing to join the reviewer list here?
We should get somebody from Trust Machines.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I can have a look.
Great. What's your,
Netrom. It's start with N-E. That's me.
excellent. Quick question, are we still trying to do 3 approvals?
I don't think it's a requirement that's like enforced
Yeah,
on
enforced.
merge. But I do think that it's still a good practice just to get more people involved in reviews.
Okay, so yeah, just keep that in mind. Great. Yeah, I don't think I got a chance to review this yet. So, okay, I will review this week. We have a few of the reviewers.
Yeah, I only recently tagged people as reviewers, so.
Great.
How much does that improve the timer?
By about, it shaves like 40 minutes off.
Nice.
Which is pretty good. It's kind of shameful that shaving 40 minutes off is not the entirety of it, but it is an improvement. It also simplifies the GitHub workflow a little bit. Like this eliminates one of the random Docker files. So
Great. All right. I'm the only reviewer on this. Should we add another one? Is this something we want to merge?
yeah, I think we should add a couple more reviewers here.
Okay, let's get another trust machines person. Dawn, you want this?
Aaron, will this fundamentally change my PR that I have to merge 3199?
Oh, the last PR. No, I don't think it touches any of the same, but like I think your PR. Yeah.
It does move things around a lot for the CI process.
Yeah. I don't think that it impacts your PR. Like I think that they'll merge cleanly. But it's something to be aware of. Because I only change one step in the workflow, which I think was untouched by your PR.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah,
Great, yeah.
Pavito, you can add me.
Great, awesome. We need a third one too.
You can tag Bryce or
Yeah, I could take that.
Great. Okay, we're almost done. This is a draft, so maybe we should just not look at this.
I think that somebody should be assigned to manage this PR.
I'm actually the owner of the issue, I think, so it can be me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So should I just like wait for them to change this to not draft or?
Yeah, I mean, well, this is me. So in theory,
Oh,
the
great,
thing that's
great.
missing is the are the tests. It's just that it's impossible to run tests locally or something. So that's the thing that's just stopping me from like turning it into a real one.
Okay. Cool. So is that something that you are planning on taking on this week? Or would you-
Yeah.
Great. I'll just leave this in your hands then. Great. Last PR is just some tag specification docs. I think I should be getting feedback on this week as well by Thursday end of day. Yeah, I don't think it's worth discussing now. Just I think it makes more sense to leave feedback on the issue. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this also, that this is another reason that we should be trying to merge that other PR quickly. Because I do think adding tag specification to contributing is a great idea. But both of these PRs are going to be touching contributing. So
Great. Okay. That's the end of pull requests. Let's move on to discussion. So the first discussion item / only one at the current moment is the Bitcoin MEV scheme issue and the proposals to solve that issue. So this is the doc, and it goes through both of the proposals, one from Jude and one from Erin. And we are also open to more proposals, but we also are getting some help from like an outside person to actually spend some time thinking about these two solutions as well as thinking of alternative solutions. So, if this is not something that people have time for, that's okay. I think we have it covered. I guess what we can discuss is if anyone, does anyone have anything they want to discuss for this?
I'm curious if we could spend time researching other projects or blockchains that could have potentially similar problems. I mean, are we the only burn chain project? And, are there other projects that could have similar problems, right? Like rollups are, I don't know, but perhaps they have also thought out of solutions. Maybe this is a question for Aaron.
I'm not sure. I kind of need to think about that question. Because there are other kind of like related things that have had related issues. Merge mining, for example. And merge mining kind of died because of a lot of reasons. But nobody, to my knowledge, really sort of came up with a satisfactory solution to this problem for Bitcoin merge mining. Various kinds of rollups don't have this issue because they don't depend on the lower level blockchain actually mining.
How much do you think Nakamoto rules could play a role in thwarting MEV, especially when, you know, stackers could freeze blocks?
To the extent that Nakamoto rules are still kind of like an open design, I think they could play a part in this. I think that if we're just thinking about Nakamoto rules in the sort of like limited sense of like just freezing mining up to a certain depth, then it actually doesn't impact this at all.
I mean, we can detect MEV activity even from the youngest or the earliest block, so we don't need to go very deep in the history.
Right, but what I'm saying is like yeah, it depends on the details of the Nakamoto rules.
And I think those are
basically.
still up for
And they're still open for
because I think that design is still not battle tested.
I think yeah, if you ask 10 people what they thought the Nakamoto rules were,
well, that's why we're working on
10
a grant
answers.
to put them in a UI tool. We have a block simulator that will force us to make them more concrete.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Any other comments?
What's our level of urgency on this? Like,
oh, that's a great question. Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, that's something that is a discussion item for this particular issue.
Should we have a target date for?
Yeah, we actually need to figure it out. That's actually one of the things that I'll talk about.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like an issue. So we obviously need this out before EC release. Is that correct? Is that the right assumption?
Yeah. So I don't know. My understanding of the priority of this is that like figuring out a short-term solution to MEV and perhaps a short-term solution to maybe other minor issues is kind of a blocker for SBTC. And so my guess is that a fork to support this kind of behavior is probably like a sooner rather than later type deal, sooner than Nakamoto.
Right.
Do we expect like the summer effect, Memorial Day, to be the kind of the latest that we can, because after that kind of things slow down, right?
Yeah.
Usually earlier than Memorial Day then.
Yeah. I think that like we should have a fairly good understanding of like what we really want to implement by the middle of April. This is a date that I've picked out of thin air, but
like all deadlines, right?
yeah.
Okay, so if we're done with the analysis and we picked a solution by April 15th, then we can start the dev work then. Hopefully it's done
Yeah.
in, I mean, depending on the complexity, actually, yeah, what would the complexity even be? Personally, based on like these two proposals, I don't necessarily think the complexity would be that difficult. Like it seems like a change in like logic and numbers.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's kind of low. I think there's maybe like 3 or 4 implementation tasks that are all kind of like medium sized. So, I
Maybe a
don't know.
2-week development timeline, maybe.
Yeah,
Okay, and then maybe 2 weeks.
optimistically.
Yeah, it's kind of optimistic. Yeah, it's kind of, but okay, like we'll put like a month then for dev / like approval and whatever. Then that brings us to mid-May. And then a release, should then be imminently like releasable, I guess. Which puts us to end of May.
That's extremely tight. So I think
Okay,
we're
maybe
talking about the code, right? And I think in my opinion, there's a lot of other non-code related activities, which is a SIP vote and activation and communication. I mean, pretty much what we did with 2.1 again, all over, right? And so I think we should come up maybe right done with a timeline here with key dates so that we can upfront as much as where we can with the SIP and in comms, because everyone will have to upgrade. So I don't know if Hero Gamer has any idea of the time frame for that.
I think last time after the vote happened, it was like a month, another month or 2 cycles until it became activated, right? So I think kind of depends on you guys when you guys are ready and ready for the vote. Yeah, but yeah, some key dates will definitely help.
I think we're gonna have to pipeline this. We are, with using some speculative execution. We can't just sequentially do this, otherwise we're gonna blow through our Memorial Day. Yeah.
So I think maybe what we can do is maybe Hero Gamer, I'll talk to you offline. And then we can maybe figure out what the parallel timeline for the SIP process could look like. And then I can like create the timelines for the dev process and the SIP process, and hopefully that will be what we follow.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I think maybe we can pick a target date for activation and work backwards and then figure out what it would need. And then we'll know when the PRs need to be approved, because then we also need to run a testnet a little bit, I hope, right?
Sure.
So maybe work backwards from a date. So
how do we feel about like
activation
May
date
15th or something?
May 15th?
And I was thinking June 15th.
Oh, June 15th.
Or is that too late? That's fine if it's too late.
I think since it's SBTC, we should get Andre's input as well, because he can get this has potential of impacting kind of the confidence on SBTC. So I think we should reach out to Andre to get a better date on the target, and then we'll work backwards.
Yeah, I think this is a great thing to discuss in the forum post about this. Just because, I think that whatever reasoning we're doing about dates, we should
it's a good idea.
kind of document. Yeah,
Let's do that. All right, cool. So yeah, Hero Gamer, maybe I'll like request your feedback on the forum post. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Alrighty. Yeah, I also am not actually sure what the estimate for the analysis work is. So that might also be a thing that we need to work with. Okay.
I was thinking that analysis work would shine light onto what exact parameters would you use, but I think that we're likely gravitating towards iron solutions. So the analysis would just tell us which parameters we would use. That would be kind of my thinking.
So actually, we did have a conversation yesterday, with this consultant. I don't know if I'm supposed to say their name, so I'm just gonna be ambiguous. And they actually offered a third solution that I actually think sounded better. Of course, it needs more analysis, but I can like write that in the proposal doc, and you guys can like maybe offer your input on that. But this consultant would be thinking about alternatives too that might be superior. And I
Oh
know-
yeah, this is pretty important. Yeah, we should. I mean, I don't know. Is this sensitive, or do you want to be fully public about solutions? I think there's no.
No, we
reason
can be
to.
public about the solutions. Yeah.
Just about the specific person.
Okay,
I'm
so-
curious about their background. Are they like blockchain engineer or economist? Like, I'm just curious what kind
Wait, is there someone in this call? I have no idea if this is sensitive or not. I
of.
don't.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, they have a good background. I'll like make it. I'm being
Yeah.
weird. Like I'll make it public as soon as I know I'm allowed to. But basically the solution is like, right now your odds of winning, like a certain block is like proportional to, the total committed funds for that specific block, right? So like whatever percentage. And then the proposal that he made was instead of, you just change the denominator. So the denominator would be instead some kind of formula where it takes in the block commitments of the past whatever blocks, and then maybe it looks like the median, for example, right? So the denominator changes. So it is possible that no one wins the block as well.
So I think roughly Aaron's solution is changing the numerator, but this is a denominator change. Like if you squint, that's how I see it.
No, I feel like Aaron's change is like changing the rewards. Wait, does that change the numerator? Yeah.
Roughly. But skipping a block, that sounds not.
So I mean, again, they would do an analysis and see if like this
Right.
is like 0.0001%, you know what I mean? So like that is up in the air, and like that is something I brought up too. But yeah. I mean, that's literally just like off the top of it. So again, like I personally think it's worth letting them kind of run with like various ideas. That's all I'm saying.
Sounds exciting.
Great. Okay, let's do a timeline today in the forum post. Great. Any other things? We have 1 minute left.
Thank you for running this meeting, Pavi. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. All right. Alrighty. See you guys. Hope you have a great week. Bye.
Yeah.